Hey Frag fam, Corbin here again from Northwest Scent. Today I'm going to be talking about 4 nostalgic fragrances. So fragrance is tied to the memory portion of our brain, very similar to music. So in the same way that when you listen to a song and it happens during a particular event during your life, you can remember that event when you listen to that song again. And so of course with fragrance, when you smell a fragrance, same thing happens. You can recall that event again. And these are 4 fragrances that I wore during particular points in my life, and because of that, they are very nostalgic for me. Additionally, I'm going to be turning this into a tag video. So Justin from Stay Fresh Productions, Ross from TLTG Reviews, and then Barry from Centralize, you guys are tagged, so have fun and have at it. And with that out of the way, let's roll that intro. All right, welcome back. So kicking right off at the number 4 spot, no hesitation here. We are talking about Jazz Club from Maison Margiela. So I haven't worn this fragrance in a while, and because of that I actually did spray it on earlier just to get that scent again. And as far as the scent goes, this is a nice boozy tobacco fragrance. So for your boozy note, you have rum, and then of course it has that tobacco. The tobacco here isn't overly sweet and syrupy, but it's not harsh and smoky either. It's just kind of a light, dried leaf tobacco note. Additionally, you do have some florals and citruses supporting those main notes in this fragrance, and they aren't really there to be prominent roles. They're more backstage players, and they make this fragrance a lot lighter and airier. So I get a nice sillage from this. And it's not overly dense and sickening, which I really like for this fragrance. To me, it's just a little bit more versatile because of that. You also have a nice styrax note, which is a resin that makes basically this light, woody, faintly waxy kind of smell. And so that blends with that tobacco and then that rum really nicely. I think it's a great fragrance. It smells very high quality. And then as far as the scent memory goes for this was the fragrance that I wore when I went down to my girlfriend's relative's house for Thanksgiving. My fiance now, but we were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. So I just think of that trip, visiting her hometown for the first time and seeing all of her relatives, and then of course Thanksgiving dinner. This is what I wore through all of that. And because of those memories, I treasure this fragrance a ton. So again, at the number 4 spot, that was Jazz Club from Maison Margiela. So next at the number 3 spot, this is a nice summer offering from Dior, and I actually think this is the best summer fragrance that Dior has to offer. It is Eau Sauvage Cologne. So this is a really nice mature summer scent. This smells very similar to Dior Homme Cologne, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have tried. That one seems to be a lot more popular than this fragrance. However, the difference is this takes that kind of mature, herbaceous quality from Eau Sauvage and transfers that over to the Dior Homme Cologne DNA. So this basically smells like a blend of the two. Again, just a little bit greener than Dior Homme Cologne, equally refreshing, and then a little bit more mature. I definitely prefer this fragrance to Dior Homme Cologne. And as far as the scent memories I have tied to this one, this fragrance I wore seemingly every single time we went down to the Sandy River last summer. It was very hot here in Oregon, well into the hundreds, and so I needed something ultra cooling and refreshing, nothing that would like nuke anybody out or make anybody sick, and this was the perfect fragrance for that. The nice citrusy qualities of this with the herbaceousness, it works perfectly. And every time I smell this now, I just think of those trips down to the Sandy River with the beaches and then the cool refreshing water and the blue sky. That's just where my mind goes when I smell this. Great memories and a great fragrance. So again, at the number 3 spot, that was Dior Eau Sauvage Cologne. So next at the number 2 spot, we have Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Profumo. So I will say that this is not technically the fragrance that I have tied to the memories, but the reason I'm using it is because I did sell off the original Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio, and that's the fragrance that I have a ton of my memories tied to. The reason I'm using this one is because the bottle I had was a lot older. It was from like 2006 and 7. And with the reformulations, the DNA has seemed to have changed a little bit for the original. The Profumo version here smells a lot more similar to the bottle I had rather than the current formulation. And because of that, because to me this smells essentially the exact same, that's why I still have memories tied to this one. As far as those memories goes, it was just a fragrance that I wore all throughout high school. That was my first fragrance. I rocked that thing a ton. So every time I smell this one now, those memories come back. We all know about this fragrance. It's aquatic, it's citrusy, it's ozonic. It also has some nice incense and then patchouli, which makes it just a little bit darker and richer. Again, this one smells really similar to the older version of Acqua di Gio. So because of that, every time I smell this one even, those memories of high school and every time I wore it just come back. So again, at the number 2 spot, that was Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Profumo. And finally, at the number 1 spot, we have probably one of my most favorite fragrances in my collection, just because of the memories I have tied to it. It is Comme des Garçons Black. So anybody that's a little bit newer to my YouTube channel, this is a fragrance that I've talked about a few times. It was actually featured in my first video that I made for this channel. This is a great under the radar fragrance. Nobody talks about this. Nobody knows about this fragrance. This thing smells fantastic. It's a nice, smoky, sweet, woody fragrance. It has incense, black pepper, licorice. It has some sweeter qualities to it as well. It's very woody. It has cedar in it too, I believe, as well. So this thing is a nice, dark fragrance. I've been wearing this thing since 2013, like I said earlier, I believe, and this was my signature scent for a long time. As far as the scent memories I have tied to this fragrance, I wore this on my first date with my now fiance, so I just think of that occasion when I smell it. Additionally, I also wore this to work back in college. I worked at a nightclub as a security guard, so I just think of work and all those nights out, seeing everybody, you know, people that I knew from school and just work in general. So I have a lot of good memories tied to this fragrance, and every time I smell it, you know, I'm telling you, they just come back, and because of that, I absolutely treasure this fragrance. On top of that, and like honestly all the fragrances in this video, they just smell amazing as well. This one is no exception. If you guys are looking for a under the radar kind of dark, woody, smoky, slightly sweet fragrance, this thing is amazing. I get decent performance out of this as well, about 8 hours, which is pretty good for a Comme des Garçons fragrance. They don't typically perform quite as well as some other fragrance houses, but again, the scent quality on here is amazing, very unique, and I have lots of good memories tied to this fragrance. So again, at the number 1 spot, that was Comme des Garçons Black. Well, there you go. Those are 4 nostalgic fragrances for me. If you guys have any fragrances that are nostalgic for you, that have good memories attached to them, please let me know down in the comments which fragrances those are. And as well as if you just want to write another comment or something else, just letting me know your thoughts, as well as some new video ideas and topics, that would be great too. Additionally, if you guys want to like this video, that would be great. It helps with my visibility, and it shows that you guys enjoy the content I produce. And while you're down there doing all that stuff, if you have not already, if you could subscribe and hit the bell notification, that would mean a ton to me. That way you guys stay up to date on new videos whenever they get released going forward. But with all that out of the way, that's all I really have for you guys today. So I hope you have a good one. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and smell great.